So you as a Muslim saying that Osama bin Laden is right or wrong, have you checked up? Bombing in Nigeria, American consulate, Osama bin Laden, headlines. Did or not? We don't know. But if you ask my view, if he's on the truth, if he's fighting the enemies of Islam, I'm for him. Every Muslim should be a terrorist. The thing is that if he's terrorizing a terrorist, he's following Islam. Whether he is or not, I don't know. But you as a Muslim, without checking up, laying allegations is also wrong.
Somebody raped that woman. Nowhere does the Quran say that a woman is raped, she go to hell. If she was a good lady, and if she was not the cause of the rape, and if somebody troubled her, she may go to Jannah. That you should stone the person to death who does homosexuality. So according to Bible, the person who does homosexuality should be stoned to death. Even Islam is against homosexuality. That's the reason in Islam we believe in haqq.
He says every Muslim should be a terrorist. He also says if advised by a cleric, suicide bombing is acceptable in Islam. What does he preach? That it inspires terrorists in Dhaka, Mumbai and Hyderabad to commit mass murders. And finally, what are our security agencies doing? I'm Gaurav Sawant. We pose those uncomfortable questions on India First. But let's begin with the headlines. Zakir Naik's family jumps to his defense. Brother-in-law rejects allegations of Naik preaching terror. This is an India Today exclusive. The new textile minister plays down her perceived demotion. Power corridors abuzz with whispers of a bigger Uttar Pradesh role for Smriti Irani.
This signifies that my party, and especially the Prime Minister, has faith that I have the capacity to implement the roadmap.
Two MBBS students finally arrested for flinging a dog from the rooftop. Walk free on after. Tortured canine survives but may never walk again. Singer Mika in trouble again. Charged with molesting a fashion designer. Mika calls it an extortion bid. Footballer Lionel Messi sentenced to 21 months in prison by a Spanish court for alleged tax fraud. Olympian Oscar Pistorius gets 6 years in jail for murdering his girlfriend. The controversial preacher of Islam, Dr. Zakir Naik, is now on the crosshairs of investigating agencies in Bangladesh and intelligence agencies in India. 2 of the 7 jihadis in Dhaka were not only influenced by him, they were inspired by what intelligence agencies are now describing are his hate rants. But Dr. Zakir Naik wasn't just an inspiration for the Dhaka terrorists. He was also an inspiration for the 2006 Mumbai train bomber Rahil Sheikh and the Hyderabad Islamic State module chief who has just been arrested.
Every Muslim should be a terrorist.
This is the man, the terror evangelist inspiring terrorists in the subcontinent. Earlier, India Today revealed the influence he peddled with the Dhaka terrorists. Now, it's emerging that the vitriolic preacher inspired the Hyderabad jihadis as well. According to highly placed sources, chief of the Hyderabad module, Ibrahim Yazdani, was deeply influenced by the virulent preacher. These speeches from long ago had reportedly inspired Yazdani to take the path of terror. Sources say Ibrahim even attended Naik's 10-day-long camp as a volunteer in 2010. In Dhaka, it was the same televangelist who inspired the young jihadis who massacred 20 at the Dhaka's Holy Artisan Bakery. One of the Dhaka terrorists, Rohan Imtiaz, apparently shared one of Naik's speeches on his Facebook page. The revelations have led to a massive uproar against the preacher in India and in Bangladesh, both countries where Zakir Naik has a massive following.
और इनके इदारों को बंद करें, क्योंकि इनके इदारे जब तक चलते रहेंगे ये लोगों के जहनों को ख़राब करते रहेंगे। लिहाजा ये डॉक्टर नाइक को यहाँ पर बैंड किया जाए।
It should be proactive decision of the government. Government should come proactively ahead of it. We should ban these people. What sort of Islamic thoughts are there?
The present government of Bangladesh, the present regime, is very, very favorable to India's concern. The threat of terrorism is not limited to one country. It has to be fought globally.
Zakir Naik's speeches are banned in many countries, including UK and Canada, but not in India, where he continues to be extremely popular yet controversial. Even a country like Bangladesh, where attack has taken place, is contemplating a ban on him. However, even though there is a link of Hyderabad chief of ISIS module having a link with him, there has not even been a questioning of the controversial leader, perhaps because there is not much evidence. But if there is a request which comes in from Bangladesh, that could perhaps make things easier for the government of India. With camera person Sanjeev, this is Kamaljeet Sandhu in Delhi for India Today.
Dr. Zakir Naik is banned in the United Kingdom and Canada because of his hate rants. It's not just in Canada and the United Kingdom, even in Malaysia, his speeches are banned. Bangladesh is now thinking of blocking the download of his channel Peace TV. His radical speeches have inspired terrorists. The question is, has India treated Dr. Zakir Naik with kid gloves? The government, of course, has now put his speeches under the scanner. Is he a tele-evangelist or a terror evangelist is the question.
Every Muslim should be a terrorist.
As far as homosexuality is concerned, it is haram, it is prohibited.
So you as a Muslim saying that Osama bin Laden is right or wrong, have you checked up?
You can beat her lightly, the Arabic word is daraba.
If he's on the truth, if he's fighting the enemies of Islam, I'm for it.
50-year-old Dr. Zakir Naik is a noted Islamic orator and founder of the Mumbai-based Islamic Research Foundation that he set up in 1991. He's a tele-evangelist who runs a channel for Islamic teachings called Peace TV. But ironically, his teachings are anything but about peace.
Abortion करना अपने गुनाह को छुपाने के लिए गलत है। आप अपने बच्चों का कत्ल मत करो, क्योंकि अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला आपकी और आपके बच्चों की परवरिश कर सकता है।
It was terror sermons like these which inspired the perpetrators of the Dhaka attack and the alleged ISIS suspects apprehended by the National Investigation Agency in Hyderabad. A follower of the late South Africa-based preacher Ahmad Didat, Zakir Naik follows the former style of using English and technology to reach out to people. He delivers his lectures in crisp English, dressed in three-piece suits with a tie.
You are there, and if you pull the trigger, you will die, and you are pulling the trigger. You're killing yourself and killing him. And the Prophet will be saved. As a last resort, if under certain circumstances, you know that the loss that is there is less and the gain is more. In that context, as a last resort, it can be used, and I do agree with Sheikh Salman Auda.
He's a qualified medical practitioner whose studies include Shrutis and Smritis, the Bible and the Quran. Naik has received Saudi Arabia's most prestigious award from the Gulf states, King Salman, for being one of the most renowned non-Arabic speaking promoters of Islam. But it was his comment calling on all Muslims to become terrorists that propelled him to the center of controversy.
Every Muslim should be a terrorist. The thing is that if he's terrorizing a terrorist, he's following Islam. Whether he is or not, I don't know. But you as a Muslim, without checking up, laying allegations also wrong.
The Islamic Research Foundation claims that Zakir Naik's words were twisted out of context.
Every Muslim should be a terrorist for all wrongdoers in this society. That was the context in which it was said. But in what context now they are taking, it was never said by me.
But Naik, a former medical doctor, has courted controversy several times in the past. In 2010, the conservative British government revoked his visa and barred him from entering Britain. He has also famously reiterated in the past that he cannot term Osama bin Laden as a terrorist. With Mustafa Sheikh in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
The Bangladesh government has stepped up its efforts to nail the Jamaatul Mujahideen Bangladesh, the terrorist group responsible for the Dhaka terror attack. This is the terrorist group that has been armed, trained, funded and nurtured by Pakistan's ISI, according to the Bangladesh government. But with pressure being mounted on security agencies in Bangladesh, there is apprehension that these terrorists and their masterminds could try and slip into India through the porous India-Bangladesh border. And that's where agencies have sounded an alert, and the police have now been activated to keep an eye along the India-Bangladesh border. We bring you a ground report.
Bangladesh is cracking down on Jamaat Jihadis after last Friday's Dhaka bakery siege. And that means a heightened threat for Indians both in the country and in Dhaka. Indian Jawans are at the border night and day, alert to the slightest suspicious movement, ready to tackle any threat, keeping India safe from every enemy. After recent skirmishes with the Dragon, the Indian Army is conducting Operation Bunker Bust in Arunachal Pradesh's Tawang. India Today's exclusive ground report from the altitude of 15,000 feet, just 1 kilometer from China. First look at the Indian bunkers, Indian Army's high-tech surveillance and war drill, Indian Jawans firing and destroying bunkers to check the Dragon. Across the 857-kilometer border between Tripura and Bangladesh, BSF Jawans have tightened their vigil to thwart any attempt at infiltration through the gaps in the fences. On the Assam-Bangladesh border, the Jawans of Assam Rifles are conducting Operation Alert, scrounging through the jungles and the grasslands, not missing any suspect trying to slip in undetected.
All the agencies concerned, the state police, the BSF, the armed forces, the central and state intelligence agency, we are working in close coordination to see that it does not impact us in any way.
A high alert has been issued at the West Bengal-Bangladesh border. BSF Jawans manning the areas in West Bengal, Meghalaya, Assam and Tripura are not leaving anything to chance. With Manjeet Negi and Manogya Loiwal, Shujoy, India Today.
Let's now shift focus to Jammu and Kashmir, where Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists have put up posters outside mosques in South Kashmir on Eid, warning informers they will be shot dead. While there has been a spurt in terrorist activities, especially in South Kashmir, there's also been a spurt in anti-terror operations. And with precise information being available to security forces, they've been extremely successful in eliminating a large number of terrorists. These terrorists and their handlers across the line of control in Pakistan are very concerned that the local population is giving accurate intelligence to the security forces, and that's why this poster warning them that they will be killed in case they're identified.
A chilling Eid warning by the Lashkar-e-Taiba in the valley. Residents of South Kashmir be warned, the terror commanders are watching. The Jihadis of Lashkar and Hizbul Mujahideen are waiting to spill blood. Follow the new terror diktat or get ready to be shot dead.
And Dr. Zakir Naik, the controversial preacher, now joins me on the broadcast. Dr. Naik, can you hear me? Dr. Naik, terrorists share your quotes. Terrorists share your quotes. Tell us, Dr. Naik, what do you preach that inspires people to commit mass murders, sir? Dr. Zakir Naik, can you hear me, sir? We're trying to speak to Dr. Zakir Naik. He is in Saudi Arabia. He joined us on the broadcast. There is some disturbance with the phone line. We're trying to re-establish that line with Dr. Zakir Naik, the radical Islamic preacher who's in the eye of a storm at this point of time, whether it's the Dhaka terrorists or the Islamic State module head in Hyderabad or the 2006 bomber in Mumbai. They were all followers of Dr. Zakir Naik, and he joins us on the phone line to clarify his point, because the Bangladesh government has sought assistance from the Indian government to investigate his preachings. Dr. Zakir Naik, his preachings are banned in Canada, in the United Kingdom, in Malaysia, but not in India. Though the government did not give license to his Peace TV channel to broadcast in India, but it is available in places. It's available in Bangladesh. In fact, he himself has been quoted as saying 90% people in Bangladesh know me. But the story here is his radical teaching. Why does he believe that every Muslim should be a terrorist? Why does he believe that in some cases it's okay to be a suicide bomber if it's advised by an Islamic cleric? These are questions to which India today seeks answers. Sources in the government saying that they will look at his preachings very closely and they will see if a legal case is made out, because the Shiv Sena has sought a ban on Dr. Zakir Naik's preachings in India, as has the Raza Academy in Mumbai. India Today spoke both to the Shiv Sena and the Raza Academy. The Raza Academy clerics say that what Dr. Zakir Naik preaches is not Islam. We will continue to track this story very closely. We will track the story. For the moment, it's over to Rajdeep Sardesai for the news today.